Hello everyone, I am Mr. Ashok Kumar from VTU projects.com and AKLC. In this video I am going to walk you through about the project bidding application in the clouds platform as a service for the sales of agricultural products. So all I'm going to do in this particular video is explaining you what actually this project does. I'm not going to bother about how we are implementing this, okay, because you are just started to learn this project. You are not a master of it, so you will be requiring a lot of time to understand the implementation part of the project, okay. So I request you people to go to your college coordinator and explain the project like the same way I'm going to explain you in this particular video, okay. So definitely they're going to ask you one or more questions like, tell me more about the algorithm or tell me more about the technologies, etc, etc. So whatever questions they are going to ask you, so just promptly reply them saying that you just started to understand this project, you are not a master of it, so you will be requiring 1 or 2 days of time to answer those questions, okay. And all those questions your colleges are asking you, you people should be immediately redirecting it to me on this phone number, or you can type all those questions and mail it across to me on this email address. So I'm going to answer to those questions immediately, and then you people can go back to your colleges and answer to them, okay. So these are the things that I'm going to explain you in this video. First I'm going to show what are the quick facts about this project, and then I'm going to walk you through about the objective and salient features of our project, and then I'm going to mention what is the existing system and what are the system we are going to propose, and then I'm going to compare the drawbacks of the existing systems with the advantages of a proposed system in a tabular column, and at last I'm going to mention hardware and software requirements for this project. So coming to the quick facts, so here I'm going to mention you the answers for these questions you are seeing right here. So these questions can be asked by your external, internal, or anybody at any point of time. So I would recommend you people to keep ready with the answers for these questions. So the base reference, that means where did we get the idea from? Okay, so the base reference for this particular project is an IEEE 2016 paper. So it's the latest paper available. So we are going to get the idea from that particular project, that particular paper, and we are going to implement that in our own way, okay. So and this particular project will come under a domain called recent trends in information technology. So if you go through the IEEE paper that I'm going to share with you in an email, so in the header there will be mentioned this particular domain, okay. So that paper comes under the recent trends in information technology, okay. So the platform platform is basically the environment where this project will be executed, okay. So the platform for this particular project happens to be a live cloud, okay. So I would say platform as a service. Okay, so we are going to purchase a live cloud either from Amazon Web Service or Google Cloud or Red Hat Linux Cloud. So there are a lot of cloud service providers. So we are going to purchase a live cloud space from them, and they are going to give platform that will be present within the cloud. So we are going to install our project within that platform, and we are going to make our project online available to anyone anywhere across the globe, okay. So that is the unique feature of this project. So you are going to develop an end-to-end live application, real-time live application, okay. So the core algorithm or the technique that we are going to use is an MVC design pattern. So MVC stands for Model View Controller. So it is the most recommended design pattern for the most of the web applications in the recent industry standards, okay. So the number of lines of codes that we are going to write in this particular project will be somewhere around 3000 to 4000 lines of code, and in fact maybe more than that, okay. So don't think that this will be difficult to learn 4000 lines of code. So everything will be an easy going, because we are going to justify the number of lines of code we are going to write. I mean, each and every lines of code you are going to write will be given a proper justification, okay. So compared to any other project, right, so VTU will be on an average VTU student will be expecting to write around 1000 lines of code. You can check with any other project institute or any other senior project like that. Entire project will be completed within 1000 lines of code, but as I mentioned, this project alone will be somewhere around 4000 lines of code. That is 4 times bigger than what other students are actually doing. So that doesn't mean that the project is complicated, as I told. So each and every lines of code you are going to write will be given a justification or a comment saying why that code is required, so that will be easier for you guys to understand and explain the same to your externals. Okay, so the percentage of database that we are going to use in this particular project will be somewhere around 5 to 6%. So the reason why I'm mentioning this is because VTU have a rule or a restriction saying that no project should be using more than 20% of the database, but we are using only 5 to 6% of the database, right? So we are well within the safer side. Okay. Okay, now coming to the objective of this project, I can say objective of this project is to make the farmers to achieve the best price for their products that they are going to sell. So I think you people know how currently the sale of the agriculture products is happening. So if you look at this particular diagram carefully, so farmers are the one who actually produce the product. Okay, any product like rice, wheat, vegetable, so anything that they produce, right? So I generally call it as a product. Okay, farmers are the one who actually produces the product, and here towards the bottom of this diagram, customers are the one who are supposed to consume by that particular product. Okay, so the target is to make these farmers meet the customers directly. Okay, but that is not happening in the current world. So instead, so before the product from the farmers meet the actual market, okay, so there are a lot of man in the middle, okay, that they are creating a problem for both farmers and the customers. How are they creating the product? So this is how, let me explain you in this way. So assume that a farmer is going to produce a product, and he is going to sell the product to the man in the middle. Okay, so and let us assume that the product is being sold to the man in the middle for say 1000 rupees, just an example. Okay, so and man in the middle, right? So they internally interact with each other. I mean, the first man in the middle will sell it to the second man in the middle and sell it to third, like that. Okay, they will interact with each other. So man in the middle interaction, right? I can say it ends up with 2000 rupees. Okay, so by the time it reaches the market, the same product would be costing, say for example, 2500 rupees, like this. Okay, so this is the price where the customers, the end customers, are going to pay. So you can see 1000 rupees is what farmers are getting, and 2500 rupees is what the customers are paying. So there is a huge amount of difference between them, right? So this difference, or we call it as delta, so this delta has been consumed. It's the profit, it's the benefit for this man in the middle. Okay, so this is the problem that we are actually trying to eliminate in this particular project. Okay, so our goal is to make the farmers directly meet the customers through the help of our application, right? So the advantage of eliminating this man in the middle is what? So it's going to benefit both the farmers and the customers as well. Okay, so in the current scenario, if you can see, customers are actually paying more than twice of the product cost, right? And farmers are actually getting less than half of the actual cost. So we are going to improve this. So if we eliminate this man in the middle, right, farmers are going to get the best price, and customers are also going to get the best price. Okay, way lesser than what they are actually paying currently. Okay, so this is the whole idea, or the objective of this particular project. So if you want me to mention the features of this particular project, right, if you can look at this list, I would say each farmers will be attaining their maximum price for the product. Okay, because they are directly interacting with the customers, and they will come to know which customer is ready to pay the maximum price, and their the farmers can choose to which customer is going to sell the product. It's an online bidding where the farmers will be selecting a base price, say 1500 rupees, and these n number of customers can bid for that. Okay, I'll be paying 1700, and another customer will be paying 1800, like that. Okay, so whichever customer pays the maximum price, so he gets the deal. Okay, so and the second feature, you can say it provides the facility for the customers to quote their price through the tendering module. Okay, so we are also going to implement the tendering module, so where if the customers have the bigger requirement, they can apply for the tender, and clients can decide to whom to provide the deal, like that. Okay, so and if you look at the third feature, so we are also going to, farmers will be realizing the necessity of the people at any point of time. That means the farmers will actually get to know what is the demand in the market. So whether the customers are expecting product X, or they are expecting product Y, or they are expecting product Z. So you will come to know what is the demand that is currently trending in the market. So accordingly you can produce the products. Okay, and if you can see the fourth feature, right? So we are also going to implement a membership module. This membership module is because we need to make sure only loyal farmers are there. We need to make sure only loyal farmers will be participating in this application, so we are going to authorize them. Okay, so and in the last feature, if you can see, we are also implementing an online open forum, okay, where customers can interact with each other. If there is a topic to be discussed, or if there is a problem that a farmer is currently facing, you can simply start a discussion topic, and a number of other users will be interacting with them. As simple as that. So now coming to the existing system, so as I mentioned before, we are not going to bother about the working of the existing system, because we are referring to a 2016 IEEE paper, and the author have already studied the existing system, and you've already proved that they have a lot of disadvantages, and that is why the new system is being proposed. Okay, so rather than spending time in understanding the existing system, we will just mention what are the systems available before to this application and what are their drawbacks, right? So if you look at the IEEE paper that I have shared with you in an email, so the author speaks about two existing systems. Number one, English auction model, and number two, Dutch auction model. Okay, so these are the two existing systems that he mentions in his IEEE paper. Okay, so if you can also see, there are none of these systems are actually in live in Indian market. So in that particular perspective, we can say there are no model existing prior to this application at all, where the farmers can sell the product online and meet the customers directly. Okay, so there are no existing system that is available in Indian market as of now, but worldwide you say there are two other standards that are available: English auction model and Dutch auction model, disadvantages of which will be mentioned in the next slide. So before I compare the advantages of the proposed system and disadvantages of the existing system, I would like to say formally state what are we going to implement in this project. Okay, if you can see, we are going to implement an online bidding application that will be deployed on cloud's platform as a service feature. Okay, and this application is based for farmers for the sale of agricultural products. So, and this application will be developed using an MVC design pattern, and it will be made available live to anyone anywhere across the globe. So that means the application will be deployed live in the cloud, so you people can access it from anywhere. Not only you, anybody across the globe can access our project, because we will make it available live in the cloud platform. So anybody who have the URL for our project, they can simply hit that URL in a web browser, and they can start using our application. Okay, so this is the main the advantage of this project, because we are not building a prototype, or we are not building a sample, something like that. We are building an end-to-end live application, a complete application that is ready to use. Okay, a production ready application is going to be developed in this particular project. So now let me compare the drawbacks of existing system and advantages of proposed system in a tabular column with respect to some parameters. Okay, so to start with, the first parameter I would like to consider is the market value. If you can see in the existing system, right, so market price will be set according to the region. Okay, that means for a particular product X, there will be a different price in Bangalore, and there will be a different price in New York, Delhi, like that. Okay, but in the proposed system it's not like that. So we are going to allow the customer to set a price in global market. So for the product X will remain the same price across the globe. Okay, so same in Bangalore, same in New Delhi. If you purchase the product in New York, it's the same price, like that. Okay, so the second parameter I would like to consider is the price. So with respect to price, right, so in the existing system, different seller will be setting a different price based on his bargaining skill. Okay, but it's not the same in the proposed system. So we are going to make sure all the sellers are going to attain the maximum price possible based on the product, not on the bargaining capability. Okay. So the third parameter I would like to consider is the sales ratio. Okay. So in the existing system, if you can see, if there is an incomplete sale in the products, it results in wastage of the good. Okay. But we are not going to we are going to solve that problem. So we are also going to reduce the transportation waste, because the entire product is put in sale, and we'll make sure that particular product will be sold for sure. Okay. So the fourth parameter that I am going to consider is the product quality assurance. Okay, that means how will the buyer know whether this product is good or bad, right? In the existing system, there is no feedback capability, so the customers who purchase the product will not be having any means to provide their feedback for other buyers. So other buyers will have to just try and go, okay, buy the product and check whether it is good or bad. So they are actually in a risk, right? So that will actually misguide the buyers to purchase the wrong product. Okay, but in the proposed system, it's not like that. We are going to implement a feedback module where the buyers can provide their own feedback on the product. Okay, that will motivate the other buyers to purchase the same product, something like that. Okay. So the next parameter I would like to consider is the demand. So the demand, if you can see, seller in the existing system will not be knowing the exact demand, like how much amount of product should he need to produce. He will not be knowing the exact demand of the market, so that will also result in the incomplete sale. Okay. But in the proposed system, what we are going to do, so seller will be allowed to set a deadline for his product. So the advantage of setting a deadline is that all the buyers will rush into purchasing that product within that particular deadline only, right? And that will help seller to know the exact demand for that particular product, and in the next cycle he can only produce that amount of the product. Okay. So this way we are making sure that in the proposed system the seller will not rush into incomplete sale. Okay. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of the comparison of existing system with the proposed system. So now let me speak about the hardwares required to implement this particular project. So as I told, this is a very software intensive project, and we don't need any specialized hardware to implement this project. We just need a machine with 2.6 gigahertz processor and a minimum of 4 GB RAM and a minimum of 40 GB hard disk. So these are the standard configuration that are more than sufficient to implement this project. Okay. So 40 GB and above, 4 GB and above, and 2.6 GHz and above. Okay. So now coming to the software requirements. So this is very important, because here I am going to mention the detailed technologies that are used in this particular project. Okay. So we are going to use some front-end technologies and some back-end technologies, and we are going to use some database tools, and we are going to use various other tools, right? And we are going to work on some platform. I'll tell you what are these. So in the front end we are going to use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Ajax, and Twitter Bootstrap framework. So probably you would not be knowing all of this at this moment, but just mention that we'll be using these technologies. Okay, so you people will be taught on all these technologies from the scratch, and then you people will be made to work on the project. Okay. So in the backend we are going to use Java. Java covers both core Java and advanced Java. Okay. So and we are also going to use J2EE, so which covers JSP, Servlet, and JDBC. This happens to be our backend. So for the database part we are going to use MySQL database. So we are going to use a number of other development tools like Eclipse, Apache Tomcat server for development, and Wildfly server for deployment. Okay. So the platform, right? So as I told, so we are going to either use Amazon Web Service as a platform, or we are going to use Red Hat OpenShift as a platform, or we are going to use Google cloud as a platform. So we are going to work on either of these platforms where we are going to install our project. So first we are going to develop our entire project in the local machine. Once it is ready, then we will go and purchase any of these platforms. We'll install our project over there, so that anybody across the globe can simply hit the URL and run our project. Okay, so I think that's pretty much about this particular project. So I'm sure you people will be having one or more questions. So after watching this video, if you have any questions, or if your college coordinator or anybody asks any questions regarding this project, please feel free to contact me on this number, or you can mail me all those questions to this email address. I'm going to reply back. Okay, thank you so much.